This is Kia Gott. At just 11 months old, she contracted one of the worst cases of bacterial meningitis C ever seen in over 25 years, according to doctors at Leeds General Infirmary on November 20th, 2017. BBC News followed her case, and on November 22nd, she suffered major complications that resulted in her having all four limbs amputated, then following a collapsed lung and possible loss of sight. This heartbreaking and preventable disease could have been avoided if Kia Gott had been vaccinated. My name is Stephanie Rodehaver, and today I will be discussing why it is extremely important to always vaccinate your children. You could be saving the world. In order to take a stance against the anti-vaccination movement, first I will be discussing the dangers of not vaccinating by going over current disease outbreaks. Then I will be discussing the reasons as to why parents are choosing not to vaccinate. And lastly, I will discuss why you should vaccinate and the benefits they entail. On November 18th, 2017, the Center of Disease Control and Prevention, also known as the CDC, states that for more than 50 years, immunizations have saved more than 1 billion lives and prevented countless illnesses and disabilities in the United States alone. Vaccine-preventable diseases such as the measles, mumps, and pertussis are still a threat and in full force. They continue to infect our children all over America, resulting in hospitalizations and deaths every year. So what are vaccines? This is one of the biggest asked questions from people all over the world. Well, the CDC defines, and I quote, as a product that stimulates a person's immunity to a specific disease, protecting that person from that disease. On March 17th, 2017, Greg and Catherine Hughes held their baby boy for the very last time. At just 4 weeks old, baby Riley died of heart failure from complications that arise from a vaccine-preventable disease known as whooping cough, or pertussis. According to the National Institute of Health, also known as the NIH, on May 12th, 2016, pertussis is considered a highly contagious respiratory disease that causes uncontrollable violent coughing, which can often make it very difficult to breathe. This ultimately results in a whooping sound, which is where the name comes from. Pertussis is a very serious and deadly disease for babies under a year old and can often become fatal in infants. This is why mothers are recommended to get the Tdap vaccination in their 3rd trimester of pregnancy, so that their babies will be protected in case they are exposed. In 2014, there were a whopping 24.1 million reported cases of pertussis worldwide, according to the CDC and World Health Organization in August 7th, 2017. So what's more frightening than that? Well, I'll tell you, the CDC also stated that out of these cases, 160,700 deaths occurred in children alone, who were all under the age of 5 years old in this same year. All of these innocent lives could have been saved if the parents had made the decisions to vaccinate their children. According to immunize.org on February 24th, 2015, the Tdap vaccination is the only vaccination that helps protect us and our children from tetanus, diphtheria, and pertussis. Measles are also one of the biggest threats out there in the world of vaccine-preventable diseases, which is mind-blowing seeing as how it was eradicated in the United States in the year 2000. According to the World Health Organization in January of 2018, measles are one of the leading causes of death among young children. 1 out of every 20 previously healthy children who get the measles will come down with pneumonia. 1 out of every 1,000 will suffer from an inflammation of the brain that can lead to convulsions and mental retardation, and 1 to 2 out of every 1,000 will die. In 2016, there were approximately 89,780 people who died from this disease. The good news is, between the year 2000 and 2016, the measles vaccination prevented over 20.4 million deaths, making the measles vaccine, and I quote, one of the best buys in public health, according to the World Health Organization. The MMR vaccine, also known as the measles, mumps, rubella vaccine, is the only vaccine that helps protect us and our children from these diseases. In an article updated on April 5th, 2018, the NIH stated that vaccines, quote unquote, teach our bodies how to defend itself from germs, such as viruses and bacteria. As a result, we will not become ill, or if anything, we may have a milder infection. This is a natural way for our bodies to deal with infectious diseases. Obviously, infants and children are too young to make their own decisions when it comes to protecting themselves from life-threatening diseases. It's the parents who are to blame for choosing to opt out of these life-saving vaccinations out of fear or because anti-vax doctors are manipulating them, filling their heads with untrue information. Rumors have a tendency to spread like wildfires when it comes to celebrities and the media. When you have someone like Jenny McCarthy, who has a massive following on social media, trouble can arise and fuel the fire. She made a claim back in 2007 that her son developed autism after receiving the MMR vaccine. This all stems from when Andrew Wakefield published an article in the medical journal The Lancet back in 1998. According to the Indian Journal of Psychiatry and the NIH in April of 2011, Wakefield's article claimed that, and I quote, the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine may cause autism. Of course, everything Wakefield claimed was all proven fraudulent and was later discredited after many studies, tests, and trials were performed, which was stated by the NIH in April of 2011. So vaccines do not cause autism. Wakefield was held guilty of ethical violations and scientific misrepresentation and ended up having his medical license revoked indefinitely. The benefits of vaccines far outweigh the minuscule risks, but some parents still question their safety. According to an article published on September 1st, 2011 by pediatrician and researcher Dr. Matthew Daly, parents need to know that vaccines prevent potentially fatal diseases. They have a high degree of safety, and that their safety is constantly evaluated and re-evaluated. Unless this message gets spread widely, and too many doctors and parents are going to find themselves in emergency rooms and isolation wards watching their children suffer with the devastating effects of measles, whooping cough, or some other readily preventable infectious disease. The CDC argues that with any medication, there are going to be possible risks and side effects associated with vaccines. However, the risks of serious allergic reaction is very rare. In comparison, the risk of severe complications or death from these diseases is far greater. Dr. Michael Brady, chair of the American Academy of Pediatrics, says that, and I quote, vaccines undergo rigorous testing before they come out onto the market, and there are regular follow-up tests. So we all have a public health commitment to our communities to help protect each other and each other's children by vaccinating our own family members. Here's why you should always vaccinate your children and the benefits that they entail. Vaccinations can save your children's life. The CDC states that on August 18, 2017, that in order to help keep your children safe, it is important to both you and your children who are able to get vaccinated are fully immunized. This not only protects your family, but it also helps prevent the spread of diseases to your friends and loved ones. Look at it this way. Vaccines not only protect you and your loved ones, but they protect everyone else. According to the CDC, on August 18, 2017, vaccinated communities help protect those who are not able to get vaccinated. This is known as herd immunity. It helps the spreading of these dangerous diseases and protects people who are immunosuppressed, like children with cancer or the elderly. Lastly, vaccinations protect our future. Children no longer have to receive the smallpox vaccination because the disease no longer exists, says the World Health Organization on June 28, 2016. We did it with smallpox, let's do it again with all of these other diseases. If we keep vaccinating, the same will someday be true for them too. Vaccinations are one of the best ways to put an end to the serious effects of certain diseases. So, in conclusion, vaccinations have become an integral part of the healthcare system by preventing deadly diseases. Yet, there will always be controversy about their use and effects on children, especially coming from the anti vaccination movement. We all need to come together and trust our doctors and the statistics. Without vaccinations, we will see a dramatic rise in preventable diseases and death. The only way to prevent this is to vaccinate your children. I'll leave you with this quote by Times Magazine journalist Jeffrey Kluger. Vaccines save lives. Fear endangers them. It's a simple message parents need to keep hearing. Thank you.